Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network here specifically. And I know I usually do my podcast, my Wrestling Ramble, and the Packer podcast, or the NFL one, where I do talk about all 32 each and every week, which did end this past week. So if you all, they're not only the Circle fans but are football fans, watched that from last week. That's cool. We went over the Super Bowl and off-season stuff. Right now, might be doing some political videos. We're heading up and gearing up, getting to the Super Tuesday in early March. Tonight I'll be watching CNN, MSNBC, watching my stuff there with political news, because I'm kind of like a closet political junkie in that way. But either way, I look forward to all of that. But anyways, for today's video, what I'm doing right now has nothing to do with politics, unless he wants to talk about it. Is all about The Circle, the show on Netflix. And if you haven't watched it, then I would assume you wouldn't even be watching this video. But check it out though. Netflix. Watch it on Netflix. The Circle. I know I've shared it with family and friends and others myself. Ones that I think would enjoy it for its social media aspect, for its high drama, intrigue, personalities, I would say as well. That was part of the show. I think it's a show that has all that because of being a TV show being produced, and that's part of the game. But also having its less in regards to social media and in regards to catfishing, in regards to that sort of stuff, where I see it kind of balancing it. At least that's what I saw in regards to the show. But let's welcome our guest of honor. Excuse me, guest of honor, Alex, or AKA Adam. Uh, how are you doing, sir?
Hanging in there. Just a regular old Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, great to have you on here for a little bit. And the first question I want to ask you in regards to the circle, in regards to being part of the show, when you were casted or picked or going to be part of the show, what was your do you have any expectations of it, or were you worried about things, or nervous, or what was your game plan, or your where your head was at when you were cast, or you knew what exactly you're getting yourself into?
Well, I had seen the British version of the show, and that's why I applied to the show because I was a huge fan of the first British season. Um, but that being said, it's like when you go in, you have no idea what you're up against. You have no idea who's going to be in the room with you. And so, yeah, I I should have done a little more planning, but for the most part, fly by the seat of your pants. I wasn't super concerned about anything. I know that, like, yeah, you figure the worst thing I did in there was say arrest. So it's like, it's like that's, yeah, about the worst I could do. I'm a pretty restrained. I'm a pretty. I mean, I can be big, but I'm also pretty healthy.
Yeah, that's something that resonated. I mean, for me personally, in regards to sharing, how I was, enjoying the show and who my favorites were, or stuff like that. For me, I was drawn the most to Shuby, and just because of his personality, I felt like I was connected with him in that regard. In his um, maybe less of the what is this social media crap, but because I'm really into it, but more of just his general positivity, his realness. It seemed like in regards to not saying you guys weren't real, but I'm just saying in regards to me on the screen authentication, and just him being not afraid to be that nerd and doing well, and I was happy for him, especially how it started for him and then ending. So like for you though, in the next question for you in regards to the circle, from before to now, from during and as well, the fanfare, the fans, now the doing interviews with me or others. Um, how has that changed, and has that in any way changed you? I guess in regards to doing this part, doing that, getting interactions with people, positive or negative comments on you, or about you, or reading about yourself. Is that open your eyes to things, not care about anything? What is your stance on your popularity that has happened since and during the show?
I mean, you have to take everything with a complete grain of salt. It's like there's truth to the people that are saying like this guy is disgusting, he's awful. But there's also like I mean, it's like people are complex and what you're seeing of me is just a slice of who I am. And I think a lot of it goes in with the way people perceive media and people take in the show. It's like people some people don't quite see the divide, or maybe I didn't make it strong enough, or it wasn't strong enough in the cut. The divide between the character I was playing of Adam and who I am as a person, and yeah. So I mean, all the hate, it's really easy to dismiss because it's like these people don't know me, and the fanfare, it's nice. I mean, I nobody dislikes the love that comes in. I mean, if they said they were, if they said they didn't like it, they'd be lying.
Exactly. And even with the negative, people are watching, and that's something that I've learned from other podcasters. Because I myself, and I've shared this to my viewers and subscribers that I battle anxiety every day. So for me, as much as I say I would do good on a show like this, a show like The Circle, and with my social media, I wouldn't even say presence, but just me being on there. Um, because I'm on there pretty much every day because I have 6 Twitter accounts that I manage. I have 2 podcasts that I host. Yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot. I have to write down all my
It,
passwords to log in. So, I'm keeping up with different forms of media, or not forms of media, but different things and different topics. Politics, wrestling, football, and things that come out about it every day, even with an off season. So, with that, I feel, and how I mean, not to boast, but just personable, that I feel do well. But my point is the fan part. It might get to me if someone made a comment on my look, or made a comment on my voice, or on something else, like, because it hits me more than it would hit you or somebody else that has more self-esteem.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I think
no, go ahead.
when it comes to things like this, you have to be, yeah, it's, you have to, I mean, I think it's important to listen to everything. I think it's important to read everybody that disagrees with you. I think, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, in order to do this, you have to be very, I wouldn't say I'm confident with myself. If anything, I'm not. But you have to, yeah, you have to be able to dismiss a lot because otherwise you'd just be going insane. If I had to reply to every tweet that said they did not like me, I'd be on my phone 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some days I feel when I get 20 to 30 notifications, I'm a celebrity, let alone the hundreds and thousands. You guys are others, whatever, get in regards to about you, good or bad, and stuff like that are reaching out to you, um, especially with Instagram, with the DMs always open and people reaching out to you and others of the cast. That's why I liked as well that most of you, or all of you, in your availability to speak with and interact with and answer some that you want to, or can get to, of the fans on your social media platforms. Is that a individualized thing, or is that a collective thing in regards to, we want to be active with some, that we deem, that we are able to get to, or wish to react to, in regards to responding on social media messages or otherwise?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I know that we talk about, we have a big group chat and we all talk about how we're all like actively trying to get to all the messages. Some people have a lot more messages in their inbox than I do. It's it's a wild thing, and yeah, it's to the point where it's like I want to respond to everything. I genuinely want to talk to everybody, and it's just impossible to give everybody the time they deserve because everybody deserves it. And but I also deserve my own time to
Exactly.
not be on Instagram 24/7.
Right, right. As they say, the negatives of social media of always being on there, and being glued to your phone and stuff like that, like they say in general. So even in when you're trying to, or want to, respond to all the positive ones and all the kind messages, that even those are going to get lost in the shuffle, or lost in the distance of space. Um, in your messages, or even in your tweets. Um, but still, I wanted to say that to you and pass it along to the others because I appreciate that personally and for the fan base that you guys, when you can, like you said, you have your own lives that you should be able to enjoy. But when you can, you do respond to ones that you're able to respond to. So I appreciate it. I'm sure others do as well. But another question in regards to the circle, what would you say be your favorite moment, least favorite moment?
Well, least favorite moment would have to be any time that there's a potential of being kicked off. Like you just get so anxious and it's so drawn out, and you just think that like you're gonna go home. And what I had well, there was the first time when Miranda got blocked when I could have gone home,
Hmm.
and that was anxiety inducing. And then there was the second time when it was the bottom and Bill went home, and it's like, yeah, the way it builds up, it's like, yeah, it's funny because it's like really anxiety building when you're waiting to see if you go home. But yeah, when you get blocked from the circle, it's kind of like getting a band-aid ripped off. It's like it hurts for a second, and then you're like, oh, that's not so bad. I mean, I had this experience, I did this thing, and yeah, let's go. And so I would say my favorite experience was going down and meeting Rebecca because, I mean, it's just insane. I knew that there was something off about Rebecca. I knew that she wasn't being completely truthful. I just did
Hmm.
not know that it was going to be like as joyful of a human being as Seaburn. Like he is such a standout guy. I love that man. He's brilliant.
I would say, well, like I tell people, say be honest in regards to if you were talking to someone or not. Because I was going to say that my favorite moment from the show was Miranda and Joey and their meeting. But you and Steven were second just because of that interaction and everything, and how great that was in regards to the both of you. The two catfishes in the room interacting, and that was pretty cool. But I am a sucker for romance, so that the other one was that for me personally. But I definitely see where you're coming from, of course, with your personal experience. My next question for
Yeah.
you: life in the circle. I mean, we see what we see actually televised and what made the cut for the episodes and show, but like how were the days, like how does everything work within being on that show, I guess, to so to speak.
How does it work being on the show? I mean, you get up in the morning and you say these are the people I want to have conversations with. You don't get to choose when you have a conversation with them, but they will get the conversation. Like
Oh,
you will be able to start a chat in the day with them, and yeah, you spend a lot of time chatting, and the rest of the time is sort of downtime. There's a good amount of downtime in between the chats and the games.
all right.
Yeah, mellow.
And also, from the circle, like, you guys, forming friendships and pretty. I would call, and I would say, for a cast, something that you're gonna remember and have together forever. For being the first season or first the circle show in the USA, for the first season and everything like that. Um, did you feel? I guess I was gonna say, do you feel like that was possible, or really, like, did you expect to be able to connect with all of them um, more that you have since the show? Because sometimes the shows, it's in the heat of the show, you get along with them, whatever, but after some people want to stay away from than the others and this and that, not of negative, but just in general. But it seems like with this cast, it seemed like with this show, everybody's really cool with everybody. And I just wanted to gauge, and for you personally, if that's what you expected when you first came into now after the show, that you all are cordial and friends.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I wanted to be on this show, it's like I've never applied to another reality show before. I wanted to be on this show because, like, it's such a nice show. Everybody's super friendly. Everybody's like desperately trying to be popular, but at the same time, it's like conflict is always at a distance, and there's so many layers between you and the next person that, yeah, any sort of conflict is like is fake. And that's not to say that any sort of like niceties could be fake too. It's just that, yeah, the British version, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to say it. It's just it's a show that's like ruled by love, where like other shows are like about conflict and hostilities, and this is just about being the most popular. Yeah.
See, and but as a from my end as a viewer, and one that would, if there is a season two, would apply. But just in the aspect of viewing with the season one of that, with conflict, or the conflicts in regards to the circle chats and conversations, that it was that was what it was going to be like, the survivors and the big brothers and the animosities coming because of either what's said, or you find out afterwards because you don't know during, depending on how things were shot or done, that may bring up issue. But as you're saying, it never was that way. It was just of fun and enjoyment, and of a social media aspect, which is its own storm. But no, it's good to hear. But just from my end, it just seemed like, it seemed like in regards to moments, in regards to sometimes the interactions and situations, that producers were trying to make it more of a um that sort of way, like the Big Brothers and the Survivors and the American shows like that do things, which, hey, whatever works. But I think for the circle, like you said, is something totally different. It's its own game, its own playing field. I think that's why, for me, if they're, for season two, and if I applied, I think that's why I feel like, to be part of that and be able to honestly see how I would do in that type of atmosphere. I guess for you, in that way, since I keep talking about it, what would be your advice to anybody that would apply to a season two, or what to expect, or just in the way that a person should prepare for it, or be ready for it, if they do want to apply, because if you're going to apply, you want to be part of it. You want to be part of it. You're hoping to be casted. So, what any advice in regards to me or the thousands of others that would wish to do so whenever that call is a coming for casting?
Uh, yeah, how do you do it? I mean, I'm still sort of mystified that I made it through all the rounds of casting and ended up on the show. Like, because it's like some people were approached by casting and said, where casting reached out and said, "Do you want to apply to this show?" But yeah, I just applied blindly, not knowing anybody. I filled out the application. Um, what advice would I give? I don't know. Try to know what you're going in for. Try to have a story behind you. Um, be be loud, be big, like be you, but the most of you, because it's like that's what plays well on television. Is like, yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. They definitely want personalities that are going to like fill the screen, because it's difficult, because it's this weird sort of television where you're really not interacting with anybody. You're just interacting with the computer and yourself. So it's like the whole thing is a interior monologue. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's what the show is.
No, that's true. And I just, I didn't know, in regards to the secrets, or any ideas, especially for someone like yourself that been part of it, in regards to that, what you're getting into because you did it. In regards to being part of the show and the process. Now, you said there was a many pronged approach to being casted. Um, are you able to divulge on what those steps were that you had to go through to get casted on the show?
This casting. I can talk about your experience in casting. So it started. I filled in the application. I waited. I don't know, maybe a month or two. It was all like applying to the show was an incredibly slow process. Be very patient, and so I applied, and somebody somebody emailed me asking if I wanted to interview. So I scheduled with somebody, and then they forwarded my application along to the next people where I went in and had a in-person on-camera interview. It wasn't like it didn't feel like an audition. It just felt like I was going in and talking to people in front of a camera. It wasn't like I also had at that point very low expectations of actually getting on. So yeah, I did that. And then they asked me to email them a bunch of stuff like photographs and this and that, and they wanted to like look at all my social media, and it's like, okay, sure. So they go through and they look at all of that, and then a couple months later, they had me go in for another audition where they took me and they put me in a hotel room by the airport for 2 or 3 nights, I can't remember, and in my phone, and I just out in a hotel room, and then at some point they did a psychological exam where I talked to a shrink. It was pretty standard, pretty okay. They did a written psychological evaluation that was like true or false questions, and then you have like another audition where you go down into a room and they have a fake circle set up where it's pretend like you're playing. Yeah, it was just that was the big one, the big interview. And even then I was like completely unsure that going. And then yeah, they picked me. And then the kicker is they fly you out to where they tape the circle and and but they take more people than will be on the show people because maybe somebody will get sick, maybe something will happen. You need to have people in line in order something happens. So, so yeah, even when they send you out to go on the show, you don't know you're going to be on the show until they call you in the morning. Hey, you're going to be on the show. Pack your stuff and go into the building.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that, because I know for myself, regards to, like I said, for applying and everything, in at least in some aspect, maybe not exactly, but an aspect in regards to what to be prepared for, even in the process, let alone being prepared for to being part of the game itself and the fun and majesty of that in its own right. Um, but no, I appreciate you spending some time with me, and for everybody that watched here live or that will be watching otherwise here on the channel. Hello, welcome to subscribe to the channel. But before we go, Alex, if you have any last words or things you would like to say to everybody, the floor is yours.
Oh, I'm awful with an open floor. I never know quite what to say. Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been saying a lot lately, but if everybody just goes out and does the things they love and puts good into the world, I don't know, be happy, be nice to each other, take care. Yeah, it's a beautiful world we live in, even in all the chaos. So just remember to be kind, nice, and yeah, take care of other people.
Yes, be kind. Excuse me, be kind and be respectful. And I know in regards to talk about passion, like for me personally, and I know like for others and their passion for different industries, for me here in broadcasting and wanting to grow and be something in that kind of area, is as I always say, working hard and doing what you need to do so is always best as well. But again, for me, everybody, welcome to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell so you know when the next video is going to be live. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Army_strong_06. You can find me on Snapchat at StephenK_06. You can find me on the Instagram at StephenK_006. I do have the other Twitter handles, but that does not matter right now. But I hope you all have a great evening. And above all else, as always, take care.